Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, the go-to source for timely insights and updates surrounding Iraq's currency developments. If you've been following discussions about the potential revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, you're not alone. A topic that continues to stir interest and raise questions is how major U.S. banks, especially Chase Bank, might handle the exchange process if the revaluation officially goes live. As more investors speculate about when and how the revaluation might unfold, many are preparing behind the scenes, but one of the most frequent concerns is whether Chase will even participate in the exchange. If it does, what will the process look like? Will there be restrictions? What kind of documentation will be required, and will everyone have equal access? If you're holding on to IQD and considering Chase Bank as your go-to for exchanging your currency, this information is absolutely vital. From document preparation to navigating bank procedures, this segment will equip you with practical steps so you're not caught off guard when the moment arrives. Let's begin by addressing the core concern. Will Chase Bank offer immediate IQD exchange services following an official revaluation? While the bank has not made any public declarations confirming or rejecting their role, financial professionals familiar with bank procedures believe Chase will act cautiously. During previous major currency transitions, large institutions have favored phased implementation rather than sudden system-wide rollouts. In practical terms, this means Chase likely won't open its doors to mass IQD exchanges on day one. Instead, we could see a tiered system where certain groups are given priority. These may include clients who already have accounts, individuals with complete purchase records, and those belonging to premium banking tiers. The possibility of daily exchange limits is another point of concern. Such limits, if enforced, could prevent investors from converting their full dinar holdings in a single visit. In fact, it might take days or in some cases weeks to finalize the exchange, especially for those with larger portfolios. Chase is expected to structure these limits in a way that favors account history and relationship tier. For example, a Chase private client or JP Morgan Wealth Management customer might enjoy higher exchange thresholds, while standard account holders may face tighter caps. Why would Chase impose these restrictions? It all comes down to maintaining system stability. In a high-pressure scenario where thousands or even millions of investors are rushing to exchange currency, unrestricted transactions could overwhelm systems, cause liquidity bottlenecks, and increase exposure to fraud. By enforcing caps and rolling out exchanges gradually, the bank can protect both itself and the broader financial ecosystem. Another critical factor is compliance with federal mandates. Chase, like all U.S. banks, must follow strict anti-money laundering (AML) and Know Your Customer (KYC) laws. These frameworks ensure that every transaction can be legally justified, properly recorded, and traced if needed. That means before you ever set foot inside a branch for an exchange, you'll need to be prepared with proper documentation. Expect Chase to scrutinize your purchase history carefully. You'll likely need to show proof of purchase, including receipts and source details indicating when and where you acquired your dinar. Without this, your request could be delayed or even denied. In addition, a valid government-issued ID, such as a driver's license or passport, will be mandatory. If you aren't already a Chase client, brace for additional verification requirements and a longer approval process. Picking up where we left off, let's talk about what happens once your Iraqi dinar has been successfully exchanged at Chase Bank. A common question circulating in investor circles is whether you'll be able to walk out with large sums of cash immediately. The simple answer? Probably not. Even in regular banking scenarios, high-volume cash withdrawals are often limited, and in a post-revaluation climate, those limitations will likely become even more stringent. To ensure liquidity across all branches and reduce security risks, Chase and other major banks typically prefer non-cash disbursement methods. Instead of handing over large stacks of bills, they will likely issue certified checks, initiate wire transfers, or deposit the exchanged funds directly into your account. In fact, for high-value transactions, electronic methods may not just be preferred, they may be mandatory. Planning ahead is key. If you're expecting to make a large withdrawal, you'll almost certainly need to book an appointment, and even then, it could be delayed based on the bank's branch capacity and the volume of requests they're handling. The timing of your visit could be the difference between same-day processing and a week-long wait. Not every branch will have the same resources or policies in place, so location matters more than you might think. Another widespread misconception is that your entire exchange process will be wrapped up in a single visit. That's highly unlikely. Between verification steps, documentation checks, tier-based limits, and processing delays, the entire journey could easily stretch over several days or even a few weeks, especially if you're exchanging a significant amount of IQ. The process will depend heavily on four main factors: your relationship with the bank, how organized your paperwork is, your total volume of currency, and how many others are trying to exchange at the same time. So what can you do now to stay ahead of the curve? Preparation is everything. If you don't already have an account at Chase, opening one now could put you in a better position. Being an existing client often grants you access to faster service and greater exchange privileges. Once your account is active, start organizing your purchase receipts, contracts, or any official documents that prove the legitimacy of your dinar holdings. It's also worth your time to speak directly with a Chase representative. While they won't confirm anything about a future revaluation, they can still educate you about current foreign currency policies and tell you what to expect regarding documentation and limits. Ask about how foreign exchange is handled today, so you're familiar with the basic procedures. If you're sitting on a large volume of IQD, you should consider a phased exchange strategy. Breaking your transactions into smaller, scheduled phases may reduce scrutiny and keep the process more manageable. Spacing out your exchanges also gives you more control over tax planning, reinvestment decisions, and financial timing. Which brings us to the final but equally important point: post-exchange planning. Once your funds are in USD, what will you do next? This is where many investors hit a wall. To avoid costly mistakes, it's a smart move to consult a CPA or licensed financial advisor who understands foreign currency exchange and capital gains implications. Taxes on your conversion could be significant depending on how much profit you earn, and you'll want a solid plan in place before the IRS comes calling. So let's recap the 5 smart moves you can make today. First, open a Chase bank account if you haven't done so already. Second, gather and safely store all proof of purchase and relevant documentation for your dinar. Third, connect with a bank representative to understand their current policies. Fourth, design a step-by-step exchange plan based on your volume. And fifth, speak with a financial professional about what to do with your funds after the exchange. Preparedness gives you power. With careful planning and clear expectations, you can navigate the revaluation process with confidence and avoid unnecessary delays or complications. Thank you for staying with us on Iraqi Dinar News. Subscribe for more updates as we continue to track every development that could impact your financial future. Until next time, stay informed, stay ready, and stay ahead.